So we move on to talk about the business of longevity. My name's David Rose. I have the privilege of serving as the Managing Director of Vincents, a firm that's recognised consistently for the last 10 years as the best accounting practice in the country. I also serve on the board of a disruptive technology group called Dealer Trade, which is disrupting the way that motor vehicle dealers sell vehicles at auctions. My challenge for you this evening, sorry I just put that back there, that's not a typo at the bottom. I'm very passionate about the education part of it. An over $200,000 investment in my children's education this year. 3 daughters. I hope they look after me when I get to 100. So my outcome for you today is really to challenge your thought process around the longevity of your own businesses and to think about how you may disrupt them before someone disrupts them for you. And I think that starts with understanding the landscape around you. The picture there is a picture of a radar that started appearing in Queensland in November, and I think it took people about 6 or 7 weeks before they realised that was actually a radar. And certainly the revenue raising activity around that was quite good. I see a lot of our clients who fail to recognise changes in the landscapes and continue to think that it's acceptable to do business the way that business used to be done in the year 2000. That is no longer the case. I challenge them on that. And I think that those businesses who don't understand the trend of the changing landscape will certainly not survive into the future. So the impact of disruptive technology, I kin it to the Kubler-Ross stages of death and dying. So we talk about denial, anger, bargaining, depression and acceptance. The unfortunate thing about acceptance in this case with the Kubler-Ross model is it's the end of the business when there are better ways. I watched the whole Uber thing unfold, and what I recognised is that the taxi industry, instead of doing what they did and spending all the money they actually did, could have spent that money setting themselves up in order to compete by having the same sort of online platforms that Uber does and payment platform as well, and that never happened. I read the paper on the way down the plane this morning. I see that Jerry Harvey is in the stage of anger where he's currently pointing the finger at Amazon and what they won't do. At the end of the day, Amazon will be here and they will disrupt. So the changing landscape in accounting, and whilst it took almost 2 years, the ATO in April of this year will commence the rollout of the small business reporting software. So it's basically computers talking to computers. And what they basically said from an accounting perspective is they will wipe $500 million off the revenue of accounting practices as a result of the introduction of SBR. So I hope if there's any accountants in the room, you're not hearing this for the first time. So my challenge around creating a sustainable future for business looks something like this: educate, encourage, corroborate, innovate, implement and monitor and change in order to ensure that businesses create for themselves the sustainable future and therefore longevity. The process would go like that. So into more detail under each of those. So the education is understand the global trends in your industry, look for any changes that are being flagged. Educating yourself and asking at every step in your process, is there a more efficient way of doing it? If your answer is no, ask if there was a better way, how would it be done? Encourage, corroborate and innovate. Anything that you need to do involves having your team contribute to the outcome, even if something's your idea. Implement. The sad thing about learning these days is implementers only account for about 3% of everyone who is provided with the same information. The best advice I can give you here is to get out of your own way when it comes to implementing changes and look for help in the significant role technology plays, obviously monitoring and changing. So what we've done at Vincents, 2 years ago when SBR was rolled out, we did a client survey and the clients told us what they were looking for. We ended up producing 10 products that are non-compliance based products associated with our businesses. They're listed on the board, and we went through a training process with our staff. That training process has recommenced as a result of feedback and changes within the industry. The other thing that we're doing and decided not to do just on our own, but make sure that it went out throughout the whole competitive landscape of accounting, is to automate the way that we deal with client queries. So we went to a group in San Francisco, they produced something that gets ready at the end of March, and rather than paying for it and keeping it ourselves, it's something that we wanted to make sure that the entire accounting industry implemented in order to ensure everybody's survival. Thank you.